Thanks.
ரொம்ப நன்றி.
All right.
போனேன், எல்லாமே பண்ணேன். ஒரு மாரி I've been fully hands on for the last
Very good.
1 day or so.
Good to hear that.
Mostly I have done அதான் same file operations from இது பண்ணியாச்சு. Printing,
Hmm.
list collection is okay, was okay.
Sure.
I'll come to the problems also. Assertions is also okay, sir. It's
Very
good.
good. Very good.
Assertionsல ஒரே ஒரு விஷயம் என்னன்னா, let's say
Hmm.
def x equal to 1, def y equal to 2.
Hmm.
Then how do I say z equal to x plus y?
You can define an operation once again. Def z is equal to x plus y. You can write it
And
another
then
expression.
println z.
Yes.
I did that. Some error I got. I don't
Show
know.
me. We will
Simply
take a look. No worries.
no
Yeah.
problem. இல்ல அது என்ன ஈஸி தானே பண்ணிடலாம். ஒரு
Hmm.
நிமிஷம் அப்புறம் நம்பர்ஸ் போனேன்.
Hmm.
நம்பர்ஸ்ல வந்து ஓகே இன்ஸ்டன்ஸ் ஆஃப் இன்டிஜர் ஓகே ஃபைன். Numbers strings was also pretty okay, pretty easy. என்ன
Right.
அது கூட ஓகே. ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருங்கோ. Classல ஆமா classல the only thing is I want to recap with you. Class, you first when you create a class, you call a class, and then you say the constructor, that is the private string title in our case for the Gina book, and then we create a method string
Yep.
title println. Get title is an invoked of a book instance, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then toString transform kuda panne, that's fine. Groovy string, groovy beans,
Hmm.
groovy beans kuda panne, that's
Sure.
fine. Book bean, yes. Immutable class kuda panne, that's fine. Illa immutable class panle, you miss it. Okay,
No
fine.
worries.
List
We'll.
panne, list la panne, no problem. Fruit dot size
Very good.
panne, no issues.
Good.
Playing
Good.
with class
You've
path.
done quite a few. Very good.
கிளாஸ் பாத் பண்ணல ஆக்சுவலா கிளாஸ் பாத் ஒழுங்கா பண்ணல
That's
மோட
okay.
ஓகே
I
ஃபைன்.
will take a look. Groovy console, I'll tell you. See the
அண்ட் அதர்
execution.
திங் இஸ் XML parsingல ஒரே ஒரு விஷயம் என்ன ஆச்சுன்னா,
Hmm.
ஐ வாஸ் ட்ரைங் டு ரீட் தி XML and also to write an XML
Okay.
at the same time. I was
Okay.
trying to do it where I
Okay.
got an error with a markup builder.
Very good. Yeah, we will take a look at it. XML markup builder, we need to use it to write it.
ஆமா
For reading, it's a slurper. For
ஆமா
writing, it's a markup builder. So eventually it writes into the console. So you need to invoke a print stream. I'll tell you that. Not an issue. Good that you tried. Appreciate it.
ஸோ இங்க வரைக்கும் தான் நான் வந்தேன். எஸ் சார், now
Very good.
please continue. I'm very kicked, very happy. Please
Very good. Great.
take me
Thank
through,
you.
give me more knowledge.
Sure. So let's start today. As such, I've also added a couple of methods. See this. We have seen. Okay, we will probably first start with IntelliJ IDEA. Maybe that will be a good start. How do you run it in IntelliJ IDEA? I'll show it to you, and then you can actually start with the your own, right? Because we have seen in Groovy Shell, Groovy Console, and also Groovy command line, right? How do you execute a script, etc. So now we can
Correct.
see how do we really start with an IntelliJ IDEA. So I use IntelliJ IDEA Ultimate Edition. There is a subtle difference in between IntelliJ IDEA Ultimate Edition and the Community Edition. I'll tell you that as well, right? So I added here. Maybe we can take a look at.
இப்போ என்ன ஹாலிடேஸ் இப்ப ஆஃபீஸ்ல
No,
இருந்து?
no, I'm working.
நீங்க எங்க வேலை செய்யறீங்க சார் நீங்க?
City.
சிட்டி குரூப்.
Yes.
Oh, then in old Mahabalipuram road.
Yep. Like in the DLF office in DLF.
Oh, okay, super.
Okay. So
You must be a project manager sort of person, le?
yes, I'm a delivery manager.
அதான் நினைச்சேன். Top class.
You do Groovy file new project. See, what we can do is new project. So by default, IntelliJ IDEA comes with a Groovy plugin. Default. So that's why you see by default when you select it, it will be a Java project. So you choose a Groovy project. So there are two ways. You can add a Groovy support to the existing Java project. You create a Java project where you want to have, we will see that as well a little later. Now I want to show you how do you run a plain Groovy project alone, not mixing it anything else. So here you select a project type as Groovy, and then the project SDK Groovy still needs what? JDK. Groovy runs on top of Java, right? Without Java, JDK or JRE, the Groovy project cannot run. So by definitely IntelliJ IDEA, if you install it, you should have backed up with the JDK in your system. You select it, and the Groovy library, you need to choose it. You need to create it. So where you have installed the Groovy library in your machine, go there and choose the parent folder. Automatically it will take it. Don't choose the bin, etc. That is only for the operating system path. Here we just select only the Groovy parent folder. And then save. Sure. Just select only the parent folder of Groovy. Don't go up till bin directory, etc. And then say OK. It comes in there. Then click on next. So it'll ask you to choose a project wherever you want to have. There is a workspace with idea. You create it and then say finish. So eventually you get a project like this. And inside SRC, you say right click new file where you click on Groovy script. You can also create a Groovy class. What we have seen, right? You can also select a Groovy class. Let's say person.groovy. Eventually .groovy gets added. You can create same string name. That's it, just to have a minified class we created. Then we say person p equal to new person, p dot name equals say Raghavan, then println p. Just type p, and then shift F10 is to run the script. Synthetic class generated for script code. Okay, why is that? Okay, I'll come back to that. Maybe extends object synthetic class. What is that? The version of Groovy 3. I don't know why. What is that error? Synthetic class person generated for script code. That is. Is it because I do this? Oh, okay. They should be only having this. Then we can import it. Maybe how do you use it? It's just a class file. You should have it. Rest of the others we don't have it here. So likewise,
you cannot do it there.
Yes. We create a Groovy script here. If you want to have a say person test class, say Groovy script, say person test.groovy. So this becomes a person test.groovy where I have my classes where I make use of the script, the classes, right? So if you want to run it, there are two ways. One is you can click on here, you see run person test. It is in with IntelliJ IDEA, but with Community Edition it differs. In the Ultimate Edition, I'm using Ultimate Edition. You can also click run this run. You can do this.
Yes.
In Ultimate Edition, you need to create a configuration, say edit configuration or run configuration. You need to add a configuration, like how you do in the Community Edition. Sorry, in the Community Edition, you might need to. You can also click here, choose this, and this is all with the Ultimate Editions. But in the Community Edition, you need to create a configuration. Maybe I'll install a Community Edition and then I show it to you. You give it a try. In case otherwise, I'll show you to the next class.
I'll figure it out. It's all about commands.
Right. So if you run it, and one more thing, sorry. Even in both Community Edition and Ultimate Edition, what we need to have it is, in Groovy version 2.5 plus, Groovy added some extra jars called extra JAXB, Java API for XML parsing jars. They need to be added. If you don't add it, it throws up an error. That's what I had it this morning. It said that unable to load class, the JAXB extension due to missing dependency, right? So how do you add it? That's the important step I wanted to show you. You choose file and say project structure, click on modules,
add modules,
and come to dependencies. Here you click on add and choose jars or directories. Go to the installed software, you have that Groovy installed primarily. Select this. Inside, come to the library where you see extras JAXB. Expand it, choose the 4 jars, activation, JAXB, APA, and all that. Choose all 4 of them, and then it appears here automatically. Then select all of them, say apply, and then OK. Then you are good to go. Right? You are good to go. This is how you run it. So you say person, right? If you want to override the class, we know that the toString method. Just to revise it, right? Import groovy dot transform
Dot
dot
transform dot toString
and then I
at
just add. This is a benefit of IntelliJ IDEA. When you keep typing, it gives a syntax highlighting, right? Just do this. You don't need to
because
recompile everything.
I will be using more of Groovy script only, sir.
Okay. So now you run this.
Because my application will allow me only to use Groovy scripts.
Not IntelliJ IDEA, is it?
No, I mean IntelliJ IDEA is where you will be compiling everything and creating the script.
Got it. Yeah,
But
yeah.
when you deploy it,
I'll show you
the
that as well.
deployment is only a Groovy script.
I'll show you that as well. How do you make a jar file and then deploy it, and I will take that look. See, person.
இல்ல அங்க dot groovy தான் போட முடியும்.
Yes. Okay, great. Got
அந்த
it.
SAP இல்ல dot groovy script தான் போடு dot groovy அத text fileலயே போட்டுறலாம் அவ்வளவுதான்.
Okay, okay, good. So here now you get a transformed string, right? This is how you write. So this is something I just wanted to show you on IntelliJ IDEA. How do you run it, right? So we can take the continue with the rest now. So for the futures, right? Dynamic typing, we have already seen it. Like how you, there is one nuances, just wanted to tell you explicitly. Let's assume we have a Groovy script here. Let me say clear. Okay. How do you clear the console? Buffer, okay, so clears the buffer, not the screen. So let's assume I have x equal to say Sham. There is a variable defined. Without, this is called a dynamic typing, right? In terms of def, if you type it, you don't care about the typing, you can add anything. That is something, two different concepts, right? So let's say you type x equal to Sham, it prints, and you can also have x equal to 5. It accommodates it, right? Because def is a x is of type def. That means you don't care about the type. It's dynamic type, right? Anything you can do that. Whereas if you type int x equal to 5 and x equal to Sham, it throws an error.
Wrong.
Because we have an x there. Why? Well, let me int val equal to 5. Got it. Because it treats us as a different variable in scope. Without the type also you can type it. That's what it is doing. You cannot do this in the Groovy console. We can do it. It throws an error. This is what it shows, right? Let's assume I have a Groovy console here. Int x equal to 5 and x equal to Sham. Ln x. This is all I wanted to show you. It shows this cannot cast object, right? Similar to this, I just wanted to tell you, let's assume I have a variable called x here. I say 5 and then define a variable called x with the type def. This is an optional typing. If I don't specify any data type, that is also fine. It is bound to the current context of it. Now def x equal to 9, I type it. Let's assume I type print x, the value 5, I get it. Println x also I do that. Value 5, I get it. Now I type def x equal to 9 and once again I type println x. What I am supposed to get?
9.
But what I am getting? 5.
Because it's taking the previous context.
Yes, in the Groovy shell, this def is very short living. If at all you declare a variable of type def, it is living only until the statement execution. Thereafter, the scope of the variable is lost in the Groovy shell. If at all you are trying to execute anything, I'm just telling you. Whereas in the Groovy console, it is ulta. Let's do the same thing. Let's assume x equal to 5, println x. We get it? Now I type def x equal to 9, println x. What am I getting now? The second
now
line.
9.
Why?
Yes, because it's
still
taking the context that def.
It associates it with the current context, but there is there is a subtle difference between the Groovy's environment itself. The Groovy shell, this variable is lost here. Only up till this statement execution it stays. The very next statement, this x is lost. Until otherwise you have a variable of the same name declared earlier, it gives you an error. Let me show you that. I'll tell you def y equal to say Java. Now I just print ln y. What am I getting? This is a perfect example. It shows unknown property. The property is lost. I don't know what is y. Whereas if you typed in some z, for example, y earlier, say y equal to groovy. Now you print ln y, it comes perfectly. Now you type y equal to Java, print ln y, it gives groovy only, right? Def y is Java, it is done. If you type print ln y, because it has already got a variable in the context called groovy, that's why it gives groovy now. Earlier we never had it, so it threw an exception called unknown property. So this is a subtle nuance within groovy itself. Just be mindful of the fact. Okay. So that is what in the groovy features, not groovy features, where we have it in tutorials. Features. So we had the dynamic typing. This is what I've just explained it here, right? In the groovy console, it treats differently, whereas in the groovy shell, it treats very differently.
That's fine.
Yeah, wonderful.
That's fine.
So we can add that as well. If you don't have anything, it gives that value. It loses its right.
See, I will never be using this groovy shell at all. So in the real-time example, the way I'll be doing it is I have to create a script.
Okay.
So and more or less in that script, I'll always be instantiating and reading a message that comes in. And passing it back to a message. This is the only probably 100% of the scope I'll be having. Within that message, mostly it will be a JSON or an XML.
Got it. So you will be doing more of the groovy command.
As in groovy command, groovy console. From there, I'll be creating a .groovy script.
This groovy console. Well and good.
This mostly, I think I'll be doing only that.
Well and good.
Depending on how it is.
No worries. We'll take. See, there is a subtleties. Even in the class file, when you run the file, I have shown you in the command prompt, like .groovy, taste of groovy. We had it, right? If you could remember, we had something called taste of groovy, right? There, it runs without. See, we had file operations, right?
Correct. Fruits.
This exactly. In this environment, the class path doesn't need to be set as it is. That doesn't need to be set explicitly. I'm just reading the file as it is, right? Fruits.txt.
Correct.
Customers, etc. Whereas, if I run the same thing here, let me open the file here. Just give me a minute.
I tried it.
Yes, because
then I did the escape characters and got this directory.
You need to add the file here, right? Let me see. There is a file. If you show all files, I do have the fruits.txt, right? And I open it here, file operations in Groovy. There is a fruits.txt. I'm running it, right? I get that file not found exception. .fruits.txt is not aware. I'm not aware. So how do I distinguish it, right? So println new file of this .class, not class path, if I'm not wrong. Wait a minute. I think I had this. Let me tell you that. Where did I have class path? There is something I have made it.
Class path pannirkele.
T02 play with class path. Yeah.
Play with class.
T02 also there is a class path. Yes. See, if you look at it, I open this. See here, new file at absolute path. Okay. Where exactly we show this, right? If you look at it, in this output, it shows, okay, this is because I'm setting it here, right? Let me, by default, if you print it, it shows that it is only from where my user's home directory. Let me take this new file at absolute path alone. So let me open a Groovy console, right? It'll open a new console. Let's just wait for a minute. Yes, and I'm printing it here, absolute file. What you're getting it here? I'm invoking it from this path. From which directory you are invoking, that is what the runtime path. Until and otherwise, I'll show you that, right? let's do one thing. Where am I here? I am in this test of Groovy. Let me go here. Let's assume. So this is C drive, right? By default, if you open it, where it opens by default, I generally invoked the Groovy console from my user's home directory, the default home directory. Let's assume I open the Groovy console here. From here, I'm topping up, right? I'm popping up. The Groovy console is popped up from the directory from which I'm invoking it, right? If I print the same line, where is it? The same command, let me print it. Control R, this is where I'm invoking. So do I have the fruits.txt in this path? No.
No.
Until and otherwise, I go here. Let's do that. So now let's do this Groovy console, right? And from here I'm opening. Let's assume I am in this test of Groovy. I'm opening it here. Any other directory, if you open it, see even now, it is from this directory. Groovy programs only, it stays there.
Now,
right? It doesn't even come. If I open a file, let's assume I go here, test of Groovy, file operations. I run this, I get the same error because it is not, the file is not present in the directory from which the Groovy console was invoked.
yes.
So I need to be present inside the test of Groovy from where the literal file is present, the fruits.txt is present. Now if I run it, for example, from here you get it. So this is a nuance. Whereas from the command prompt where you type Groovy and the file name .groovy, so now you see this, in this path you have the file, you open it, here you are expected to get the output. See here, it works like a charm. So this is a subtle nuance you need to be aware. Whereas in the command prompt, if I run it, why I'm able to get it here? Because here automatically the path is set. The environment from at which these shells, the utilities are executing, the parental runtime environment is different. Okay, that's why you get the difference of output, right? So please be mindful of. That's why I've added play with class path. I've given a comment as well, right? Okay, so let's move on to the next topic.
Adarana, that is probably the only thing today I did not do. Everything else I've been sitting and doing.
No worries, great, right? So how do you add the class path is like this. This dot class loader add new URL. You add this, and this adding a class path, you need to add the file, or you can add a folder also. This way, the file will be picked up. The class path is getting added. That's the reason you see I'm printing the class path, whatever is available via closure, you get all the entries, right? This is the beauty. Okay, so let's go to the next here. Today, dynamic typing, we have seen def type priority. Def type priority, okay, we have seen that. Let's take a look at numbers and strings and numbers. Little bit we'll touch base. Maybe we'll go to strings first. String methods, right? So what are all the methods that you can do? We did take a look at a couple of things in strings earlier, right? Like string dot length or size, we have seen it. There are quite a few you can do it, right? So maybe
Siri, but if I have to know all the methods that are available, like dot size, dot length,
I'll show you. I'll show you that today. I do have it today. So let's look at it strings. The strings, we have seen it on the other day.
I'm also asking you more questions now.
No worries. Good. That's what I really wanted. Right? Wonderful. So there again, I'm telling you, right? Sometimes I may not know the answer, but I'll prepare and come back. We'll learn it over there. Right?
Sir, you are amazing, sir.
No. Features, let's say string methods, right? Before even, okay, you open it. Let me open a new one. Right. Let's say def, we can have it as a def. Without def doesn't matter in the Groovy console. Let's say str equal to Groovy. We are just printing that str. So it comes. Now, that's a very good question that you asked. Before we get into any of the other methods of the string dot properties, it's a meta class method. If you type it, here you get it. This is one method, right? What I'm doing it, println. It's not gonna give you the methods, it's gonna give you the properties. See, string.properties will tell you, is it blank? This is a default method. You can invoke that as well. Say println, or even you can assert it. Assert string dot blank equal to false, right? It doesn't return anything, right? Whereas you do string equal to false or make it blank, it gives an error, right? So this is one method you can invoke it. Blank, likewise empty, or you can even print this, println string dot blank. You get a return type as false, right?
Right.
Println string dot empty. Is it an empty string? No, it's not. Whereas if you do this, you can assert this here a little later. String equal to Groovy, for example, I'm making it here. If you do this, you get true for. Okay, this is a blank string now. If you do the same thing for here, you get false because this is not an empty string, this is not a blank string. And this is of class. You can print the class as well, right? Println str.class. We might have seen me using it quite often. Dot class. It creates
Superclass,
Java
class.
dot string, right? And this is a very interesting, lovely feature. Take a look at this. What is this bytes? You type this println str.bytes. What do we get? Is an empty array. Same thing I do this.
No, sure.
Sorry. Same thing I do this. You get some value 71, 114, 111, etc. What does that mean? This means each individual character in a string array, string is nothing but an array of characters. It's being printed, the byte equivalent, ASCII equivalent is being printed. Just to demonstrate it, let's make this as, say, ABCD. You know the ASCII equivalent of ABC, right? Capital A starts from 65, 66, 67, 68. That's what you get it here. See? Whereas if we have small a, small b, small c. Yeah.
Sir, ஒரே ஒரு செகண்ட் இருங்க சார். தப்பா எடுத்துக்காதீங்க. ஒரே ஒரு செகண்ட் இருங்க.
No worries. Good. Okay.
Sorry.
So
பொண்டாட்டி வீட்ல இல்ல அதான் பிரச்சனை.
ABCD, this lowercase as alphabets, ASCII starts from 97. So you get an individual. This will be very helpful when you deal with the byte level operation, lower level operation, especially when you want to do binary comparison, byte level operations. It is very useful and interesting method, which does not, if at all you want to write it in Java, you need to write a method. You need to call the string class API dot get at character and convert it to an integer, and all that you need to do. It's not that easy. In Java, you need to write a method for it, right? So that's what we do it. Features. Okay. So this is an interesting properties. What is available at a string for you? Quickly, you can do that. So let's take a look at the methods. The interesting other question that you asked, right? So if I do string dot properties, we have seen it. You can also do one more thing. The properties, if it is like this, right? Generally, when you do string dot properties, it comes in the long string, one pretty long string. You want to make it come in the vertical alignment. What you can do, you can write a closure. Each IT is by default IT, println IT. IT is nothing but an iterator variable. Even though you don't supply it, it is automatically available to you. Definitely, we'll take a look at closures in the next lecture. But just precursory, I just want to give a sample of it.
No problem.
It's as good as that. Now, when you run it, you see here. Maybe for now, what I can do, I'll comment out this just to keep the verbosity reduced. Oh, why it is println properties dot each. I think it comes here. I don't know. It doesn't come here. So str equal to Groovy. Str properties. It's as good as get properties. Both are same, right? You know that. Groovy is Groovy bean style. Str properties dot each println it. Yeah, see here it comes differently, right? It gives you in a vertical 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. It is little easy when you interpret it. See there again there is a difference. The output is shown in a different way in the Groovy shell as that of a Groovy console, right? Groovy console still it comes in same code I've typed it here, right? No big difference. String.properties.each and println it. So this is a little easy to for a human being, right? Human readable nature reserved to it. So one more interesting thing to do the method actual question that you asked. String dot is something called meta class. Meta always what is metadata? Data about yourself itself. So meta class is a class available to every other object, right? And then you get methods. You do print or println, just get methods. It gives you everything, a whole lot of string. You see here, public boolean gives you a string, complete signature of each method. It has got an equals, it has got an get class method, and it has got a hash code. They are all from java.lang.object, right? Notify as what you have seen, Groovy object and Java object. It's on top of it, right? Groovy object is also an object available to all the Groovy objects. And Java, it's also running on top of Java. Groovy always adds something to it, right? It's an addendum. It has got the methods from Java as well as it adds its own methods, right? That's what we have. So it gives a pretty long string. See, compared to ignore case, contains all the methods of a string class because it's basically a string type. You can also, we have already asserted it, right? String dot class. What does it give?
So then we can take any string and then we can use any of these. For example, compare or dot weight.
Yes. Exactly. So now what we can do, make it meaningful or readable, human readable. You do this same thing.
Because in my real-time examples,
Mhm.
everything I'll be parsing to a string.
Okay.
So
great.
I'll be reading that message will be getting in.
Mhm.
Everything will be parsed into a string. So everything will be available as a string only.
This is a very interesting method. Yes. Here there is a little catch. If you just type IT, same closure you use it, get methods dot each within brackets. IT is nothing but the default available iteration variable to you,
Iterator.
and then type print IT, right? If you run this, what do you get it here? It still comes the same thing, right? But you get it in all one single line, not like a pretty long string. At first you get, we have printed the properties. I'll comment that out as well now for the sake.
Yes. That's fine, sir. I can make. Yep.
You just get it. This is at the end of it, it prints everything as a result because we don't do anything, right? Println, just type this. Okay. You get this as a pretty long string, one at a time, but still you get a full syntax. You don't need, you just need a hint. Later you can take a look at it. What you can do is instead of IT, you type it.name, dot get name of a method alone. Now you go here. But there is a tussle, right? If you look at it, value of these many methods, from where it comes. If at all you want to take a look at that way, you need to go here and take a look at, see, these are all overridden methods.
Yes. One can accept
Char
a
array,
character as
boolean,
an
that
input.
is where it differs. So what you can do, you can toggle it. Whenever you are in a confusion,
Name
you can
0.
toggle it. Right?
Or print ln it dot name 0.
A name of 0. That means the first,
Always it'll give you. Yes.
the name of 0
Oh.
will give the first character. My bad. Not the
Oh,
first
sorry.
method. You need to treat it as an array, as a list. This is how you should do it. Dot get of. If at all you want to do it, get of 0. You get only the first method. First property, what is there? This is the property comes, meta methods.
Right.
You want to do get of 2, you get that property, right? Print ln it dot name. Okay.
Right.
So you get it. So this is one interest. Okay, one more thing. This is just a methods, meaning the methods available to the string class, right? Maybe let's do this as well here. Println str.class. So this is of type Java lang.string class Java.
And how do I get to know? How do I get to know? For example, tomorrow if I have to use wait,
Hmm.
so yeah, just as an example, just search for it, I'll get it, right?
Yes,
Or something.
you get it. You can also, you know what? You want to print only wait, right? You can do the conditions, right? If it
Find
dot
all.
name equals wait, for example, ignore case of wait. Only then you print.
Ignore case doesn't matter. Huh?
Doesn't matter. But
Uppercase or
even then, you know, you
lowercase.
want to put it all lowercase, you give it. Only then you want to print it. Otherwise, you want to ignore it. So let's run this. What happened?
இல்ல அதை நீ க்ளோஸ் பண்ணல நீங்க.
Yeah.
If IT.
You get only wait. And here, if you want, you remove this. Just IT. You get all the methods only of wait, whichever you are interested in. Now you get a hang of it, you play around. There is a closure. Like this, you write. This is how it should be. Right?
சரி
It goes like this.
சரி
So
சார்.
it prints only that method. You want to print a particular, you can even, we will make it, you can even make it as a argument to be passed. As a closure, you pass an argument, only that it can print. You can get as a method. We will make it elongated a bit, right? So this is how you do it. There's one more thing. This is just a methods, meaning the methods available in the java.lang.string class. But it also has got a couple of others, right? Let's say, for example, interface hierarchy. It needs to have the parent class, right? If at all any super classes available in the hierarchy, how do you do that? So you have, there is something called, as of now I remove it. It's just a single line, I'll keep it. Get meta methods.
Get meta methods.
Meta methods. I mean meta class. All the meta methods you have it. So now here as well you have it. So you wanna do print it dot name as usual. You wanna take a look at that, right? This is a very interesting method, right? Here I just made only hash code just to make it lesser, right? Or you can do, right? So this is all the list of methods, the whole superset, a whole lot of methods, what can be invoked on a string object. Find last index of to float, print next, find last index of strip margin, take while, use integer, getter, take write each line. So everything you can explore it. Maybe, you know, we can take couple, like get lot, find all, replace first, iterator, with is a very interesting closure, right? Drop right, take right is only take the right side of the rightmost element of a string array. See, basically you have to remember that a string is a set of arrays, right? Collection of arrays. I'm sorry, array of characters, my bad. String is a set of characters, array of characters. So you can do an each, you can do collect. There are quite a few things you can do that, right? So these all is number, is white space, is all white space. Let's say, for example, that returns true, right? So anything that you can take a look at. So you get it also, right? The same way you can write it here. You have get it. What is that get it? Let's do this. Within the meta method, println why it is coming like this. Get it. Oh, this is such a long string. I want only the name, right? No. But okay, the signature itself is long. You look at it. This is a reflection meta method. So from int range, string, Groovy lang int range, there is a object-oriented programming, right? You can override the method. See, it's from char sequence interface. right? So these many methods that we have, there's a owner. Java.lang.string is a owner, and the owner is char sequence. String is a class that implements an interface called char sequence, from where this method is applicable to a string object in Groovy. So you get it here. Okay, so this is how you get the available methods or available super meta methods of and properties of any object. Okay, obviously this is something I wanted to show you. Let's take a look. Okay, already it is there in it. String methods directly, I'll just show you here. Starts with hello.
Very
So you
good.
have a class called hello Groovy, right? You have string greeting equal to hello Groovy. It starts with hello, you are ascertaining it, right? It prints. Starts with means starts with meaningfully. Get at 0, first character you get it, H. Greeting of 0 as an array index, you can invoke it. You can access an element of a string. String is an array, I told you. 0 is H. Greeting that index of Groovy is greater than 0. Index of Groovy means where the string starts, substring. This will be greater than 0. You can also print it here, right? If you want, you can print it. And then you can assert it. Say, let me run this. It is 6th, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every array starts with 0th index. So its index is greater than 0. It prints it. Contains Groovy. Contains is an interesting method. You might need to most often use this. It contains is a case sensitive. Let's say I type this as small g, it throws an error, right? Groovy is case sensitive. And this is an interesting thing. We'll take a look at it. It's a range, right? Range is nothing but a pair of values, starting and ending index you give it. 6 to 11 of this array contains Groovy. Yes, it asserts true. Now you make it, everything is returning true. That means everything is, nothing is failing. Hi plus greeting. See, this is a very, very interesting method. Take a look at it. By default, what is a greeting now? You type greeting. What is greeting now? Hello Groovy.
Hello Groovy, correct.
You first type hi and then greeting. What it becomes? Hi, hello Groovy. Plus is nothing but a string concatenation. And then minus hello. From that string you subtract it, minus hello, and you assert it to be hi Groovy. So that returns true. This is a very, very interesting. You cannot do this in Java, right? And greeting that count of O. How many O's are available? In hello 1, Groovy 2, totally 3, equals 3. You are asserting it. These are all very interesting methods. Pad left of 3. X, you have it. Padding, add a padding, left of 3. Meaning, do you get 2 spaces and then totally you want to have a 3-digit width. This is the string. Beforehand, whenever there is a empty space, you pad it with this space. If you say pad, you get it. This is very useful for a fixed string. Fixed with the strings whenever you want to put it in output. Whenever you are doing a formatting of output in the command line, this is a very useful method. It always gives a fixed string, right? So let me tell you that. Let's assume, let's have a list, say names equals, for example, I have Ram, and then I have Ravi, and then I have Raja or Raghu, and then I have Raghav, I have Raghavan. Let's take a 4, for example. Now I say names.each println it. What happens? Just pay
every
Ram, Ravi, Raghav. Each line
because there is
right. But I want to print it with, say, for example, my bad. Say IT.
Yep.
Now what you will get it here? Right after this, you get a bar. But what if you want to make it all aligned, vertically aligned? What you can do, you call this it dot pad left of how many characters you want. You want to take a max width of, let's say 10 or say 6 now, or 8 rather. You do this. Now you look at it. You want to do it in pad left. You see a difference, right? It's a fixed with the string. It looks very beautiful. You want to show it in outputs in the terminal, especially you want to print it, anything you parse it. It's very interesting. You can do that pad right as well. Goes without saying, right? Pad right. It's all right aligned. Right side, left aligned. Pad right means you want to do the padding on the right side, so it will be left aligned. You do pad left means you want everything padding to be done on the left side. It will be right aligned, right? So let's do the same method here. Say what I can do. You can do this as well. Get meta class dot get meta methods dot each if it dot name dot equals ignore case. Always go ignore case, otherwise you don't know what case it starts with, right? See, pad left, pad right. Now I can give this, I can give this, I can give this as well, right? Now you give only pad. How many other methods are available is what I wanted to check. Println dot it. I need to close this, right? This is the reason I don't prefer this style of coding, right? Generally, you make it to the next line. It's easy. Because it's a single line, you can omit the curly braces. Otherwise, it's even still a good practices. You type this. This is the best way. You would never forget it. What happens? Oh, there is an array. This is something in Groovy console. You get some yellow painted. What happens? There is no pad method. Dot each meta class, get meta class, get meta methods. Why? Get methods. What did we do earlier? There's nothing called pad.
Why did you put S? S is a string here, right?
Yeah, just a string object, right? I wanted to invoke it on a string.
Okay, got you. Instead of saying str, it can be just any string object.
Yes. Okay, I get it here. So where is pad left? I should have pad. Get methods. Okay. I do this as well here now. Instead of this, delete this. Get bytes and all is there. Okay. This is with methods, right? Value of transform.
Starts with, right? See, pad itself doesn't have a method, but
no, pad
starts
is a method name. it.name. I'm printing that it.name, right? Okay, let's do name. Trim dot etc. Right? So let's do that. Get meta methods. Let me do meta methods. It types everything. String class doesn't have a pad. We do have a pad left, pad right. Interesting.
No, but it should start with pad. It should not be pad. Here it's taking the absolute pad, no?
Ah, got it. Contains. My bad. You are right. Oh,
contains.
What a stupid I am. Sorry. Thank you. Contains. I did it earlier for hash code equals. I took that example. My bad. Thank you.
No problem, sir.
Here it is. Pad right, pad left. These are the two methods. There is no pad equivalent.
I know. I am happy that I am able to tell you something. See?
Very good. See, I was sticking on to that example. What we have seen it. Only we want to filter the method names, right? So you take a look at it.
You are my guru, sir. You are my guru. No problem, please.
So this is, as we see the example, this is very useful. This method, one interesting method, useful in terms of our aligned outputs. Pad left. You can take a look at rest of them, right? Center. Okay, this is another interesting method. Center. This will be centered. You can also do this automatically. That adjust. That's a very interesting method, right? Let's do this. I was actually looking for something like pad center or something. You do this center. .8. So what it does, it automatically gives that method. What happened? IT.center. You see this here. See here. If at all you want a justified string, you get it. Left aligned, right aligned, justified. This is one interesting feature, right? And you take a look at this. X into 3. It multiplies X to 3 times. You can assert that as well. It does quite a few interesting jobs. Okay. So that is with strings, a little extra methods I wanted to show you today. Let's take a look at numbers. Number as an object. Groovy actually treats each number as an object. It's not just a number, right? Likewise, you can call quite a few interesting methods, right? Times, up to, down to, plus, minus, toString, big integer, etc. Right? So what you can do, let's take a look at it here. Minus 1 dot absolute. You know, mathematically absolute means it gives you a positive. It removes the negative sign and gives a positive value. 2 double equals 2.5 dot 2 integer. It converts that to be a whole number. 2.5 as integer. As is another keyword. That means you converted this data type as this value as the other value. Data type can be converted from X to Y. That's what we do it. Also, you can do a casting. This is what we typically, mostly we do it in Java. Within brackets, you give integer, and as a prefix of a number, you get it. See, you remove assert and just say print, you get the actual value. That's what we asserted, right? So similarly, you have round, math.pi.round 3.142. If you do a math.pi.round also, you get the same value, right? And trunc method, is number is a method. To integer, you call that. And as integer, see, this is something very interesting. This is a useful value. You have the string, and as integer, it give you exact 5. Whereas if you try to cast it in Groovy, there is a problem. It gives as a 53. It's because it is a number type, not a big integer type by default. So there is a floating now numeric conversion internally, how the compiler takes it, the JDK and GDK, there is a gotcha, right? You just need to be careful of that. And 6 plus times you do it with the number also, it gets number plus string concatenation. It concatenates that. So let's look at a few interesting methods of number object today, and then we'll close the call. Yeah, for the day. So let's assume def store, I have it. Dot times, it's a very handy method. 10 dot times, you invoke the times method on a 10 object, which is a number. Store plus equal to X. What does that mean? It will call this closure 10 times, right? Right. So now you asserted store equal to XXXXX. It prints true. Now you run this. Maybe I printed it here at the end. That's why you get it. Forget about it. Yeah. 10 times it stores. Okay. Store then up to. From this number up to, for like a for loop equivalent. Assert store plus equal to number. So what does it do? Up to means plus equal to, it concatenates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It concatenates it for number, right? Up to means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do the store here, right? What if I do in store?
Variable sum is already declared.
It's below bottom, I have declared it. That's why it gives. Here you get 15. You see the difference, right? Here it was not a numeric type. By default, the safest data type is string. So when you do store plus equal to number, it just concatenates. That's why you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Not the actual numeric sum of it. If you wanted to make a sum, mathematical numeric sum, you need to indirectly tell the Groovy compiler that you treat this as a integer type. That means it automatically infers, it brings in an intelligence that I need to treat each number as a numeric value. How do you do that? You can print it here as well. Print number.class. Just take a look at it. Even though it treats as an integer only, but where do you, it's integer only because it is a number. This is a number object, right? Println you do. It's a number object. That's why you get 1 up to 5 is a number. So it is an integer only. But you are actually trying to concatenate it with a variable which is of type def, dynamic typing. If you don't care a type, by default, what is the safest data type in any programming language is a string. So it concatenates. But if you want to do a type to be specified, that's why I took a different variable and you print it. Now you assert sum2 equal to 15. It doesn't do anything. It goes smoothly, right? Like how up to we have, there is down to. What is down to, sir? Is a reverse of it. You do begin descending to ascending order, right? 2 to minus 2, store equal to number plus and a space you have it. This is a different way. 2, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2. It goes in a decreasing order, right? And interesting, another method is step. You want to do a step measure. So you start from 0, go up till 0.5, but with a step value of 0.1 each.
Okay,
where number
so
equal to
0.1,
same thing you do. Starts from 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0. But step does not go up till that. It's up to, not until. It's only up to. Right? Got it?
Got it.
Until. It's not up to, it is until. So if you look at it, 0.5 doesn't come in the value, right? Println store, you do this. It comes only 0.4. You need to be, this is the Groovy's way of doing it. Step up to until it reaches 0.5, you do the step. Then you don't print it at all. So it doesn't print the final value 0.5. That is just a boundary as a marker. It doesn't come till. What if you want that value as well?
6.
It goes without saying, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Correct.
So that is what we have it for today, like numbers and
very
one
nice.
more thing. I'll show you about the
Beautiful.
ranges. Yeah, thank you. Just
no, beautiful. This string one is very useful. I'll be, I think, using it everywhere.
Wonderful.
And ranges and all of these.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So maybe we'll take the next class in collections, ranges, list, maps. We will see tomorrow. Okay.
Nah,
so I'll upload it as always. Yeah. Into GitHub.
Sir, can we? Please, sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. No, please continue.
The same thing, whatever I'm doing it is, I'm doing it in here. I'll upload it in the same GitHub repository right after this class. You can take it as a reference. And just definitely, I'm happy that it's a good amount of hands-on you're doing it. It's really good. And you continue doing more of it. One more suggestion, what I will tell you. If you look at it, how when I demonstrated in IntelliJ IDEA, try to apply your previous learnings without referring. See, now for the current class, you take refer the notes and then type it, keeping the notes besides. It stays fresh in your mind. You have a reference to look at it besides. But whenever you learn something new, try to make use of or leverage the previous learnings. One example, you are also telling me in accordance, right? At the rate of toString we added. We never verified anything. Try to do it. If an error comes, then you look at it. That way, you automatically get into a habit of applying your learnings and it stays in your mind and memory.
Got you, sir.
Got it?
Sir, one more request is for the list, for the collections.
Yeah.
So can we do something more real time in terms of
I'll do that.
like XML lende number list collection la pote angende manipulate pannona.
Will do.
For example, ore color la rendu manga mari varuma.
Yes. That's an interesting thing. Thank you for the suggestion. Definitely. And the customers.xml we will take that as a sample and we will try to apply. Going forward, whatever concepts that we are learning, we'll try to club it up with a real-time example.
No, that's not. So that now, see, anyway, for me, it's JSON and XML that I'll be working on. Okay.
Yep.
So then if I get these methods and all this through